It was just a tremendous honor for me to be considered, but to have the opportunity to serve 1 year, much less 2 years, it's really, it's been an honor. We've gone and seen and done so many wonderful things that we'll never be able to forget. But it's really it's been an exciting 2 years. Last year, or just before COVID hit, we just finished our Washington conference, and I think that was extremely successful. It was extremely well received. But when we got to the Washington conference this year, we did have to cancel the in-person Washington conference, but we did a virtual conference. It worked out really well. I think the reception that we got was just as positive as last year, but it continued to be good. I think we've got a great legislative program, and our legislative folks in DC do a great job. And we need to make sure continue to emphasize our legislative power and the ability we have to influence what Congress does. I was able to visit several different Department Boys states, and I was also able to visit Boys Nation in Washington, D.C. That's a great program. I'm really impressed with the quality of young guys that we have doing that. I mean, the World Series is always exciting. The best 8 teams in the country, the sportsmanship, the conduct, the relationship that we, the American Legion, develops with these players, and the players develop with each other. We started the 100 Miles for Hope last year, just after COVID, and it was, the original concept was 100 miles in 100 days. And we extended the 100 Miles for Hope challenge this year, and we had hoped to get some more folks involved and maybe raise a little bit more money. We had hoped to have at least 10,000 participants and raise into $300,000 range for our Veterans and Children's Foundation. There have been examples of people swimming 100 miles, and there was a young lady from a state I'm not going to mention rode her mule for 100 miles. So those kinds of things are just the stories we love to hear about because they're examples of people responding to our challenge and taking up the challenge to raise some money for our Veterans and Children's Foundation. You got to continue to be visible. I think that's part of my job, or the commander's job, is be visible. And that's with our legislators, that's with your Legion community, that's with the Legion family. Hey, stay involved with the auxiliaries, stay involved with the sons, the riders, all of our children in the youth program. Be out there, be visible, spreading our Legion message and making sure people know and realize who the American Legion is, what we do, and what our purpose is. Even in spite of COVID, there have been posts out there doing great things. And the list goes on and on, from blood drives to virtual job fairs to pick up and deliver groceries. But the quality of Legionnaires that we've been able to see and meet and get to know, that's what the Legion's about, just to realize the quality of Legionnaires out there and the contribution that we continue to make to our communities and our country.
Finally, I'd like to reiterate what I said during my acceptance remarks at the National Convention. We are all stakeholders in our American Legion. We are the future of this organization. We hold the future of this organization. And we and all our brothers and sister Legionnaires are its foundation. Let's count on each other as we build a foundation for the future to ensure the American Legion can have a second century as our founding fathers would be proud of.
We've done great things, but we've got a ways to go. We've got to remember that we, and I say we, you, me, we, us, we are the future of our organization. The organization we turn over depends on the contribution that we make. We've got to make sure the things we did yesterday, the things we do today, and the things we will do tomorrow are impacting the future of our organization. We are the future. We've got to make sure everybody realizes that and makes that contribution.
And y'all expect me to talk after that? Wow. Oh, American Legion family, delegates, and guests. After the year we've just experienced, it's a fitting that we meet in the city named for a mythical bird. Through America was never in ashes. Phoenix is where our national convention, after a 2-year absence, has risen. The truth is, our organization and the nation that we love so much have faced challenges during this pandemic that most of us have never experienced in our lifetimes. Tremendous challenges require tremendous response, and the American Legion family has proven it's up to that task. From setting up supply and relief centers to conducting virtual job fairs, posts and departments contributed to do what American Legion family has always done: serve our communities and our country. With thousands of posts performing outstanding services in their communities, in spite of COVID, most will go unrecognized. But praise and attention isn't what motivates most Legionnaires. It's the inner satisfaction that we get when we live up to our motto of Veterans Strengthening America. In racing terms, I don't know how many more laps we have to go until we finally defeat this pandemic and the variant. I do know that week after week this year, the phrase, "Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines," has taken on a special meaning. The number 48 American Legion IndyCar race has been driven by past Indy 500 winners and one of racing's all-time greats. It's also driven by someone who's led the NTT IndyCar series for most of the season, Tony. But that's what the Chip Ganassi team brings to the table: experience and respect. And it kind of reminds me of a certain veterans organization that bears the name American Legion. But it brings attention to issues that impact all veterans, families, and young people who benefit from our programs and our services. It races for all those posts that stood up while society shut down during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I truly believe we're well past the 400-mile mark in this 500-mile national security or national health emergency, which has already taken more than 600,000 American lives. As the vaccines became available, we've encouraged people to take them. Many American Legion posts have become vaccination sites. It's just another example of veterans strengthening America. Even those who haven't been infected by the COVID-19 have been impacted health-wise. A recent survey revealed that 61% of American adults reported a weight gain. I did. Fortunately, the American Legion has about 100 solutions for this weight gain. If you haven't registered for our 100 Miles for Hope, please do so. We've still got time. It's still not too late to support a great program. Get in shape, lose a little weight, get healthier. Nobody says you should stop exercising when the campaign ends. That's September the 6th, just a couple days from now. There are 55 departments represented at this convention. Think of all the cumulative weight, the cardiovascular disease that could be prevented, and general health benefits that could occur if we convince the majority of our Legion family members and friends to join us in this 100 Miles for Hope challenge. You don't have to run a marathon. If you visit our website, www.legion.org, you can see there's probably 1,000 different activities that you could choose from. Even riding a motorcycle counts. But besides getting fit, we need to remember and recognize its true purpose. That's to support our Veterans and Children's Foundation. That's two of our pillars just in one sentence. In October 2020, your National Executive Committee passed a historic resolution. The NEC called for America to take a new direction in the global war on terror. We do not believe authorizations for the use of military force should be endless. It's time to end those forever wars. Our hearts ache for the loss of life that has occurred in Afghanistan. We've not seen the safe and orderly evacuation of our fellow Americans, our Afghan allies, and their families that we had hoped for. We will continue to advocate safe passage to be provided for those who assisted our military during those long deployments. They fought shoulder to shoulder along with our men and women. But we also must be willing to support any effort to strike back hard against those who carried out terrorist attacks on Americans. Preventing future terrorist attack must remain a priority. To all American Afghan veterans, I say thank you for your noble and historic and heroic service there. You've kept us safe for 20 years and have made it possible for thousands to flee from the oppressive grip of the Taliban. You also brought down, I think so, you also brought down the architects of 9/11. We empathize with the emotional toll taken by recent events on our Afghan vets. I had many similar feelings when Saigon fell. Political and diplomatic failures, however, are in no way a reflection on our great military members who have done everything that was asked of them. The American Legion implores, I think so, the American Legion implores and asks our senior government leaders to institute a far better evacuation and withdrawal for Iraq. We need to continue expediting special immigration visas for interpreters and their family. We simply cannot and must not abandon our allies. Our preamble was recently updated to preserve the memories and incidents of our association in all wars. This is yet another reason the American Legion strongly supports the dedication of a national memorial on the Washington Mall for those who fought and sacrificed in the global war on terrorism. Senator Joni Ernst and Representative Jason Crow, both veterans, one a Republican, one a Democrat, have sponsored legislation that will finally give the men and women who fought this long war their overdue recognition. As our troops came home, Congress and the White House must ensure that all of their health issues are addressed. The American Legion was instrumental in the awarding of Agent Orange-related benefits to our Vietnam War veterans. But the toxic exposure doesn't end there. Water at Camp Lejeune, open-air burn pits, contaminants at Far Oak bases called K2, and the environmental hazards have taken their toll on the health of military members, veterans, and families. Paul Laird was on the cover of the March 2016 issue of the Legion magazine. The Army veteran from Otisville, Maine, operated a bulldozer in 1977 as he participated in radioactive cleanup at Watak Atoll in Marshall Islands. When he spoke to the American Legion, he had already suffered 3 bouts of cancer, but was denied VA disability compensation because, like others who served in those cleanup operations, they were not actually in the islands when the atomic testing took place. The logic behind these denials is absurd. Do you really think it would be safe to live and work in Chernobyl, even though the accident at the Russian power plant occurred many years ago? In this case, Paul Laird lost his life on March 20, 2019. He was 62. It's time for Congress to pass the Toxic Exposure in the American Military Act, also known as TEAM. The American Legion fought tirelessly over decades for our Vietnam veterans to receive the benefits that many have died waiting to receive. We must fight just as hard or even harder for the current generation of heroes. And I know everybody has heard this. We've all heard young veterans ask, what's in it for me? The American Legion. It's a fair question, but I say to them, don't listen to us, watch us. Watch us fight hard for your benefits and well-being. Watch us organize and operate our children and youth programs. Watch us support and provide temporary financial assistance to families during times of need. Look at the $1 million we provided to Coast Guard families last year. Watch our National Emergency Fund provide lifelines to victims of natural disasters. Watch us check on veterans and their buddies, not to sign them up as members, but to simply say, we're here, we want to help, we can help, tell us what we can help with. Actions matter, and I've seen plenty of posts doing extremely vital services to communities across the country that were truly hurting because of the pandemic. But I'd be remiss if I didn't ask for your prayers and support to the victims of the recent floods, the tropical storms, the hurricanes that's happening along the East Coast now. But the American Legion always looks after its neighbors in need. No single one thing that we can do as American Legion members, but there are many important things, like our buddy check. Many reasons to do a buddy check. Providing information about a VA service or post-activity could be one. Simply offering assistance to move garbage cans from the street to the back of the house. A trip to the grocery store. Those are the kind of things our buddy check can do and help with. But what if the veteran you contacted was contemplating suicide when he or she received your call? You can make a life or death difference. You can be the call that convinces that veteran that he is valued and appreciated. You can be the call that convinces her there is a community of veterans, us, called the American Legion, that cares about her well-being. You can be that person to convince the veteran to call the crisis hotline. Memorize the number, 1-800-273-8255, extension 1. Memorize it. Put it out there. Put it in your phone. That's 1-800-273-8255, extension 1. Last year, more than one active duty service member died per day by suicide. And they're just a part of a group of veterans, 20 of them per day, that took their own lives. These numbers are not statistics. Each and every one is a national tragedy. The military is working hard to remove the stigmas associated with seeking therapeutic help. The American Legion is embarking on a new suicide prevention program. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin recently said, and we've heard this before, mental health is health, period. I couldn't agree more. We just discussed some of the vital services and programs provided by the American Legion, all great. But it's always been service first, membership second. Membership's the foundation upon which our 4 pillars stand and operate. I believe that going into the spring of last year before COVID, we had the momentum, we had a great opportunity to reach our membership goals. But the COVID pandemic changed that plan for the year and most of this year. Response protection service, reaching out became our greatest priorities. It's time once again to make membership a priority. It's not just the foundation for our pillars, it is the foundation for the future of our organization. Many years ago, the Wall Street Journal ran a headline that stated, "The American Legion, once civic and social power, is slowly fading away. The old members are dying off and the young ones are not interested," quoting the article. My reaction to that is, happy 50th birthday to them. That was published in May of 1971. I don't know if that reporters were around, but we still are. Ladies and gentlemen, America has just been through hell and back. We've lost many members of our American Legion family to the coronavirus, but like the Phoenix, we're still here, still strong. We haven't risen. We never left. Just want to finish with just one other thing. I want to say God bless America and hope you enjoy the rest of the convention.